living. So basically that's because of that we should always treat other people, other animals with respect. So in that case, I guess you could say that everything's created by God. Like the animals are created by God, plants even are created by God, the water is created by God. Everything, so because everything's, if you think about it, everything's so connected. Like people are born, they die, and they give birth to the next generation, and so on and so on. And some species die out, but some species continue. Or you also see that happens for a reason. And why else would it happen?
Just to say namaste back to me.
Namaste.
Actually, the word namaste itself captures the essence of your religion. It's just a greeting saying, hello, how do you do? It's good evening or something. But the word itself captures the very essence of what you just saw in all this variety of different clips put together. I'll talk about the clip later on as we go along. But the word namaste itself is saying something very dramatic. It gives the heart of your religion, the throbbing philosophic heart of your religion is contained in just this single word. This is what it's suggesting. It is saying all this kind of philosophic discussions, speculations about some supreme personality sitting in the heaven, looking over your shoulder, chaps behave with us, smack you. All these ideas about some invisible being in an invisible plane. Really what you are searching for was our essential nature. Our essential nature is something very dramatic. It's not a creepy crawly. There's something very special about all of us. The thing that is shining through your eyes, looking out through all these eyes now, is not something ordinary. It's not just some electrical kind of impulses in your brain. Something very dramatically unusual is flowing through your system, looking at me now. And that, what you thought was sitting in heaven, is lighting all of you up here and now. So namaste means dignifying and divinifying and seeing the divinity of mankind, of womankind, the living things. I think the shining out is essentially what you are searching in the heavens, lighting all of us up. It's here and now. So we're not searching for some God when we die, in the hereafter. We are thinking of interacting with the living God here and now. This is a conclusion. This is all these Upanishads you hear. I was watching your kind of mix and match of variety of different Upanishads in that particular clip. The heart of all the Upanishads is precisely that. Your essential nature is something dramatically different from what you think it is. You say, no, I know who I am. I'm a male, I'm a female, I like physics, I don't like chemistry, I hate this. That's not you. The thing that is actually observing all these variations of your own mind, that is you. Spirit. You are the Atman. That's the heart. And that word basically is saying, I see that spirit in you. That is what namaste means. The beautiful, just one word captures. Look, when I make this presentation to Western audiences, I mean, I'm a regular speaker at Eton College. I speak at Oxford University at postgraduate level or as physics societies. When I mention this idea to a Western youth, he said, we like you, Mr. Lakhani. We are tired of this God sitting with a big beard in the heaven. This very tiresome chap. We like what you're talking about. Seeing the spirit here and dignifying the spirit here as the essential nature of all living things, most clearly visible as man and women. That is what this means. It really catches on straight away. Let me give you a little bit of background of myself so you know what kind of fiery questions you can throw at me when I finish. You're allowed to do that with me. My own background is really science. I studied physics at Imperial College, and then I was very fascinated by one part of physics that really stole my heart. It made me pull my hair out as well, as you can see. And that part of physics is called quantum. So I said, let me focus on quantum and go deeper. So then I discovered somebody who is very famous now, Sir Roger Penrose. He was doing a course on quantum. So I studied under Roger Penrose, who is now the head of physics at Oxford University. So from the right pedigree, so I'm not a physicist from some hippie university saying, yoo-hoo! Go power, and everything. No, just love everywhere. A very hard-headed scientist in that sense. So I'm talking hopefully sensible stuff. And most of my talks that I do at universities for non-Hindu audiences normally focuses on ideas of science and spirituality. I'll share some ideas with you. You don't have to agree with me. Look, the first rule in your religion is that if you hear anything in the name of religion even, that does not agree with your own common sense. Simple, you say, not you need to check out the philosophy, what is common sense, what is rationality. If anything I say does not agree with your own common sense, reject it. I'm telling you, if you start absorbing and swallowing things which are irrational, you do not actually agree with your own, kind of grain of your own being, if you start swallowing that, you become disjointed. That is why your religion insists on it. Shruti, Yukti, Swanubhuti. This is the idea of Adi Shankara, the major rationality India produced. Always suss out everything using your own. Suppose your common sense is not that developed, so be it. That is your common sense. You must play with that, live with that. Use your common sense, your own rationality to make sense of anything and everything that you hear in the name of religion. Don't just swallow. You get indigestion. No need for that. This is what I'm telling you right from the start. So now, you see, we're going to, I'll tell you one thing. First, I thought I'd speak for 20, 30 minutes and then open up myself for question and answers. But when I already saw the interaction between all of you, I feel so warm and feel so nice that I want to talk longer. Hopefully, you'll not go to sleep on me or disappear. But you'll enjoy what I got to say because you are the right audience for what I possess. That is why I'll speak a little bit longer, possibly to 35, 40 minutes. But give it the heart of your religion, it will thrill you. I get it, it will thrill you. This one session will change your life, I promise you that. Now you say, how can, first of all, I could hear the debate between science and the religious lobby, somebody trying to hang on to the core, check out for God, don't touch him, leave him alone. And the other guys, science, powerful, and all that. So you can see if you're like a tussle. In fact, when Jay called me, he said the topic should be science versus religion. So I was smiling, okay. Let me just tidy up straight away. You'll be surprised with what I have to say. You see, we normally translate the word religion. We think religion means what we would call in our own tradition, dharma. And if you are from Hindu society, promote our dharma, very crucial. I'm not belittling it, but let me tell you, what is dharma itself? You ask most of the people wearing the flag, dharma. So what is dharma? How do you define dharma? Let me just tidy up. The first, most important idea, the central word that you use to define what is normally called a religious enterprise. Is it same as religion? The word religion is an Abrahamic word. It's used by Christianity, Judaism and Islam. And it comes from Latin to say realigning man with God. That is the definition of the word religion. Realigning whole of humanity with this supreme personality who created everybody called God, sitting there saying, what's your relationship? Let's explore this. That's called religion. Or realigning, bringing humanity in line with God so that he's kind of on the good side of God. That's called religion. The equivalent term you use in your religion is not religion at all. It's always been dharma. Now the word dharma is a very, very generic term, not just restricted to Hinduism. The word dharma forms the foundation of the four Indic religions, Indian religions. And they share this commonality, the word dharma. Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism and Sikhism share the same term. The Buddhists define it, kind of pronounce it differently, Dhamma. So be it, it's fun. But basically dharma, they're all focusing about dharma. So what is dharma? You like what I'm going to say. If you ask the science lobby here, you'll say, yeah, good stuff here. Dharma is defined from the Sanskrit root, the etymology. Always, when you open up the Sanskrit roots, they reveal tremendous meaning. It's a very compact language. It captures a lot of material in just a few little kind of syllables. The word dharma is derived from the Sanskrit root dhara. Dhara means that which holds everything together, that which holds together. So the enterprise of dharma is not relating humanity with God at all. It doesn't mention the word God. It simply says, we wish to understand what is the underpinning to this reality. What is that which can hold everything together? The living creatures, the non-living things, the planets, the moon, the sun. What is it that holds everything together? What is the underpinning to this reality? Or what is the nature of reality? Dharma. This is the definition. This sounds very stylish, good stuff here. You can tell any Westerner, an atheist, Richard Dawkins, he can't fault you for that. We wish to understand the nature of reality. We wish to understand the rules and laws that dictate the external world we see around us. We wish to understand the rules and laws that dictate the inner man. We say, what is inner man? Are we talking about surgery or something? No. let me just touch on this important aspect which is sometimes ignored completely. The inner man is this. You see, for us to make sense of the external world, we require some inner tools. If we didn't possess those inner tools, there is no way we can relate to the external world. Suppose I didn't have my rational faculty. How can I relate to all these laws of science? So there is something within me, some innate nature that I possess that is very powerful, that allows me to understand this universe. My rationality, my mind, my intellect. You know what's important of all? My linguistic ability. You think language is just a ploy whereby we communicate with each other. Language is not a minor issue if you study philosophy. Language, in fact, is the way you communicate with yourself. Forget about others. Suppose you want to understand anything. Try and understand anything without a string of words appearing. It won't. You can't grasp it. So language, what I thought was just a casual thing that we use anywhere, if there's Sanskrit or Gujarati or English, who cares? It's just words that we use to communicate. It's a much more dramatic phenomena that we all possess. That's your inner man. That's your inner structure. Your linguistic ability. The locus of your understanding will depend on your linguistic capacity. Isn't it strange? We never thought like that. You can imagine the stone element go, he had very limited language, so, woman, water, gorilla. So his language was very limited, and his grasp of reality was equally limited. As we become sophisticated, our ability to articulate, to understand, to rationalize, shows our inner man. That's called inner man. Now you see, you may think, am I just making this up? This is the ancient thinking of the Hindus. We want to understand the rules and the laws that dictate the world in front of us. We also want to understand what is me, this thing that is making sense of the world. What is its limitation? What is its capacity? What is the locus of operation? I must understand that too. So then only really I have a total grasp of reality. This understanding the laws that dictate the world external and the world internal is called dharma. And harnessing those laws for the betterment of humanity is called practicing dharma. You must say, we never heard that. We thought dharma means taking a coconut and going in the temple. This guy is talking something completely different. I'm not making anything up. This is the esoteric definition of the word dharma. Making sense of the world that you live in. Resolving your human condition. This is the definition of word dharma. You know why it's such a powerful definition? Suppose you go to any I do this all the time. Different department, science department in Reading University. And say, what are you studying? So we're studying engineering here. We understand how this crystal or crystallography works and how this thing can hold these kind of huge weights and all that. You see, you're just understanding the laws that dictate the external world. We call it dharma. You say, no, we call it engineering. Go away. Every physical science that you come across is nothing but practicing dharma. That's how we define it. We don't bring in this, this chapter called God in it. We're talking, what is the nature of this reality? We should understand that and harness it for our betterment. That is the definition. That is why in the same term dharma you can have Buddhism. Is there a supreme personality? Hello chaps, are you sitting in heaven watching you? There's no God in Buddhism. Jainism, there is no creator God. See, the same religion producing variety of approaches in understanding and resolving the human condition without a reference to some supreme personality. I'm not here to hurt God, and by the way, I'm just showing the depth of vision of the Hindu tradition. So this is, if you like, so now if somebody says science versus dharma, I said, no, science is dharma. The soft science that you talk about, suppose you study psychology or anthropology or social sciences, this would fit very well with the definition of word dharma. We are trying to understand the human condition. How does the individual operate? How does his emotions and his drives work with greater society or within family? Oh, it's called social science, social kind of teaching social, Let's call dharma too. This is the broad definition of word dharma. It incorporates the hard sciences with the soft sciences and reconciles them. It's so well thought out. So straight away, if somebody said, we want you to decide whether you vote for science or whether you vote for religion, you say, my friend, I think they are saying, as far as we are concerned, they are saying. We are using different ways of relating to the idea of what are these words. You see, look, when you see some of these Upanishad texts and some of this poetic literature, always be careful. You see, they were trying to give expression to things which are very subtle, which is modern science struggles with. And they were trying to give expression using the best language or linguistic word they had, and that was mainly poetic. Because poetry allows you to have a deeper glimpse of reality. They were just falling back on poetic kind of gestures to explain the creation. So many of this stuff that you heard was more a poetic gesture to a deeper insight into the nature of reality. Now just giving you a kind of brief idea straight away about why science and Hinduism is no difficulty. To the contrary, there is nothing, you see, if you are a true Hindu, if science says this is real, we have proved this, but if you say I disagree, that means you are not a Hindu anymore. You are stuck with science. We enjoy this. That is why we are in resonance. Do you know how much in resonance we are? I'm going to really fly off now because I've been watching this video. You see, this religion is a constantly evolving. It's a living religion. And all living things, one of the unique features about every living thing is it continues to evolve. If the circumstances change, the way it kind of presents must also continue to show a variation. If it's stuck in a rut, that means it's dead. This is a sign of a living thing. And Hindus had no problem with evolution or Darwin. We have a problem, little bit of problem with Dawkins, but with Darwin we have no problem. So we always, that's why we say we come out of the animal kingdom. That's why when you say respect the living kingdom, we say include the animals. Don't just use them for crunching and munching on. We just come out of there. This is natural. This reverence to life, for life. Because we agree with Darwin. We are not difficult with Darwin. So we have recognized that we have come out of the animal kingdom. But then you see in the human kingdom, we possess this marvelous faculty called rationality. In the animal kingdom, we operate at the level of the instinct. At the human kingdom, we start operating at the level of the intellect. It gives us better grasp of reality. We can harness nature for our betterment. And we do it fully. It shows sign of life. Now, as Hinduism is an evolving religion, it produces modern giants, supreme, great personalities, who are able to, in a way, present the same ideas of the ancient seers and sages, the rishis of ancient India. By the way, they're not all men with beards. They were rishikas, as vibrant, women rishis, hopefully with no beard. And they were very vibrant. They could challenge the men rishis and tear them apart in the debates. They were marvelous personalities. You know, some were called Gargi and Maitreyi and Vak. These were powerful rishis who wrote of this Greek Veda that you just saw. And they were vibrant, full authority, fully, and spiritually fully awakened. And we had this marvel. So we had ancient personalities, ancient prophets, but we are an evolving religion, a living religion, so we produce modern giants. Now I'm going to give you something that will really make your head hopefully stand up. Mine has fallen out. One such great personality who attracts me, and under whose kind of inspiration I do my work, like going to university, is called Swami Vivekananda. He came to England in 1896. He became world famous in 1893 in Chicago, Parliament religion, and became kind of world famous straight away. In fact, when India was asked to vote and put out one name of one person who was considered the spiritual light of India in the last century, the Indian public voted, and it was Times of India. An outstanding personality that came on the top of the list, way above others, was Vivekananda. If you go to India, any part you see Vivekananda standing like that all over the place. So he has influenced that particular nation. I am strongly inspired by him. And the reason why I'm bringing him in the States, you'll soon find out why. In 1896, he gave a talk in London called Absolute and Manifestation. Now this is before the Hubble telescope, before Einstein got his special relativity. All these things, prior to all this language and even before the quantum and all these things, nothing was there. He was just here to use his own kind of, in linguistic, ability to project the idea of how the universe came into being. You see and compare it with this, and compare it with modern cosmology. You won't science that, you real happy science. Now you see, modern cosmology, this is what modern cosmology is all about. Let's give you the heart of it first, and then we bring it Hinduism. Modern cosmology says this: look, chaps grow up. God is getting tiresome. We can explain the world through a science-oriented worldview which is rationally founded, is prepared to take on challenges, prepared to remove certain theory which stop fitting with facts and adopt new ones, and continue to evolve. We are an ongoing phenomena. We are as honest as we can be. This is called science. And we are as, if you like, congruent as possible. So every bits we say fit well with each other and not just kind of disjointed. This is the enterprise of science, making sense of the world, using observation and using our mental capacity to see if we can explain this observation and increase our power of predictability. That's what science does. The aim of science is to look for patterns in nature, then formalize a theory which will try and explain those patterns and see if that theory works in reality. It increases your power of prediction. It's not a minor phenomena. They have mastered it. The power predictive is so good, they can put you in an aluminum tube and send you to India and bring you back alive. This is the power of science. Must never underestimate or never deride science. It has produced durable results for humans. Okay, it can produce atom bombs too, but it's done tremendous help to humanity. It's a durable subject. Never undermine science. Even if you disagree with the scientist, suppose you hate Richard, hate him, but you can't hate science. Always respect. So this science basically is making sense of the world. And this is what they discovered. They said by sending out a Hubble telescope, this is a marvelous discovery of Big Bang theory. And Roger Penrose, my professor, was one of the instigators of that theory. He said, when we look at the galaxies I'm just giving kind of a rough idea of modern cosmology, just basics, I'm not trying to send you to sleep. When the Hubble telescope went out, start looking at all the galaxies, and you can work out at what speed they are moving towards each other or wherever. You can check that out by repeated observations. Let's say we are observing the galaxies are moving away from each other. We seem to be right at the center. Everything is moving away from us. And the further it is, the faster it is moving away. It's a common scientific idea. They say, why don't we run the film backward? And we like to listen and the projector to run the film, but it's very funny. So instead of the galaxies moving up and faster, suppose we run the film backward, what will happen? And then they say, if we do that, they all come together. And they say we can actually give you the time when they hit the jackpot. 13.7 billion years ago. Everything collapses into one. That's for the Big Bang. This is how the Big Bang theory came into being. Just running the film backwards. And there are millions of supportive evidences. So this is not just airy-fairy idea. There are some variations. There are some ideas now in modern science. They're not a Big Bang, but a big small bump, not a bounce. So it keeps doing like this, perhaps, the world. But this is a modern cosmology. And the theoretical part is so mathematically refined, so beautiful, elegant is the right word. He says we can explain the universe. It's not that there's an explosion, there's just a misunderstanding. There's not a bang. In reality, what I'm saying is, it's not that galaxies are moving away from each other. The space in which the galaxies exist is just stretching its arms, saying, that's how Big Bang takes place. They say two things unfold for the creation to come into being. I'm first giving modern cosmology, then I'll give Hindus, you'll see how it fits. Two things unfold for the universe to come into being. This is modern cosmology, Stephen Hawking, which we'll talk about, they'll all sign up to it. Two things unfold for the creation to come into being. We call it space and time. You see, space unfolds, time unfolds. Oh yes. So if you ask Stephen Hawking, what was there before the Big Bang? You are of course tempted to ask him. What was there? Just some kind of ticker going on. What was going on? What was there before Big Bang? In his own kind of unique voice, don't ask, it's a stupid question because there was no time, so there was no before, the question is irrelevant. He says, how clever, man, he's so clever. Of course you can ask him what was before, because time started with Big Bang, so you can't say what was before. It's pointless. So what a clever chap. And of course they give him all this kind of high power because these words, don't ask. So they seem to have kind of produced a spontaneous universe without reference to a God. And still, you see, the theologians don't like to get out. They say, you must bring God back into the picture. They're fixated on God. They say, but who created, who caused the Big Bang? Somebody must have pressed the button for space and time to do that. So they're still trying to bring God back into saying that somebody must have pressed the button. Now, this is where modern cosmology sets. This is the talk I gave at Physics Society at Oxford University. See how you like this part. I said, this modern proponent of Hinduism, called Vivekananda, In 1890, you can look up the talk. In 1896, gave a talk in London, not in Himalaya, London, called Absolute and Manifestation. How can one become many? And you know, just to the front page. And I was studying physics at Imperial, and I was like, how did this chap know? He said, three things unfold for creation to come into being. This was his talk in 1896. To make your hair stand up. He said three things have to unfold for creation. He doesn't talk about a God, doesn't talk about the solids and the liquids and the air and the fire, nothing. He said three things unfold for creation to come into being. It's a suspense moment. What three things unfold? 1896. He says, Desh, God, Nimit, but to unfold for creation to come into being. Space, Desh means space, Kal means time, Nimit means cause and effect, causation. These three things unfold for creation to come into being. So how is it so different from modern cosmology? It's different in one way. There was still a niggling question that the cosmologists were struggling with. What triggered the Big Bang? What's the cause of Big Bang? There's still a bit of a mystery. With Vivekananda comes the answer. That's why I used Oxford University to plug this in. So it's good to be recorded and plugged on their website. You see, this question of who caused the Big Bang is irrelevant. Who, what, why, all this comes after the Big Bang, not before. If you want to ask the question, who caused the Big Bang, is just like Stephen Hawking, you don't ask what was before time, what was before the Big Bang. Similarly, don't ask who caused the Big Bang, because causation came with the Big Bang. Nobody caused it. Causation is part of the Big Bang. This is how the world appears, linked with cause and effect. The whole totality doesn't require that. Who said it requires it? Came with the Big Bang. This is Vivekananda in 1896. And I said, I now take it to the cosmologists and look, what do you make of that? You even answered your final part. What was the third thing missing? Causation came with the Big Bang. And they would say, yeah, it's correct. See the depth, philosophic depth of his teaching. In the first verse you saw, you saw the mix and match. There's some kind of more Puranic, means kind of a narrative, colorful storyline, and there's somewhere purely philosophic. The first verse that was played is from the Nasadiya Sukta of Rig Veda, 10th Mandala, hymn number 129. Do you know what he says? This is what Vivekananda was talking about. The final verse in the Nasadiya is a killer. Like in a way what Mohan was saying, this is the final verse of the Nasadiya Sukta, Rig Veda. He in the highest heaven, perhaps he knows how space-time opens up, or perhaps he came afterwards. Look at the word, look at the philosophic ability for them to put word secondary. And as he said, in fact, what he said is not a minor thing. In the Abrahamic religion, they say, God has made man in his image. This is Abrahamic teaching. You know what the Hindu tradition teaches? Precisely the opposite. Man creates God. So, but this is terrible. How can you create God? This is getting out of hand now. Let me explain to you why and how. You like this part. Follow me. You see, all of us as human beings, there are certain endearing aspects, some good aspects that seem to kind of ooze out of us. So what are these, Mr. Lakhani? Our search for knowledge. We are thirsty. We want to know what to know. This thirst, this comes out naturally. We want to become knowledgeable. Thirst for knowledge. There is also a bit of compassion flowing out. It may be very trickling, or it may be coming out in bigger torrents. You may like your friends, your family members. When I go to little schools, I see your brother and sister, and they all go, yeah, yeah. But you see, some kind of compassion is automatically pouring out of all of us. There's a third aspect to every living thing. We all like to become empowered. We don't like being pushed about. This is a sign of a living thing. Even a bacteria, if you prod it, it doesn't roll over saying, I'm dead. It goes, ouch, ouch, stop it. Sign of life. There are certain endearing aspects to all human beings. Search for truth, search for knowledge. Compassion seems to come naturally. We don't know from where it appears. We seem to like other people, at least in a selective way, we like others. compassion, becoming empowered, and natural, if you like, things within us, they seem to be pouring out. We don't know why they are so good, but we like them. We feel warm. Don't ask me why, Mr Lakhani. We just like it. It just appears. It happens. Now see what we have done as human beings. Without realizing, this was our spiritual underpinning, our spiritual dimension showing itself, showing its colors. We know they were good and endearing, warm things within us. So what have we done? We like to exaggerate them. So I am little compassionate. I want somebody to be all compassionate. I am little knowledgeable. I want somebody to be all knowledgeable. I am little powered because I can't really, lift mountains. I want to imagine, exaggerate this idea of being all powerful. Here appears an exaggerated human being, an endearing exaggerated human being. Because human beings come with anger and all that too. But the endearing part, the good part of human being exaggerated. To how much? To infinite. The exaggerated human endearing aspects to the infinite. And say, this thing that's flowing out from me is very nice. Let me think of it in a greater and greater and greater manner. And you say, you think you would like to, in a way, now articulate this idea of endearing us human beings with an exaggerated, endearing human being, a superhuman. He must be all powerful, he must be all knowing, he must be all compassionate, all loving. Oh my Lord, you are that. See what you have done. Just human aspirations, exaggerated and then flunked. You may think this is terrible. We thought this is real chap there. Don't you understand? He's as real as you want him to be. By exaggerating this image, by projecting this image that is within you, you are exaggerating. What you are doing is you are now trying to explore your own spiritual underpinning. And how do you become religious? If you are a religious person, you must become like him. That's how you become religious. So by first producing, if you like, this projection, and then trying to build relationship with that projection, you are in a way enhancing yourself, lifting yourself up. This is called religious living. I'm analyzing what religion is all about, what monotheism is all about. The good things that within us we exaggerate and we say you must become like that. The thing's already there. I want it to really come out. So if I have a little compassion, I want it to come out in torrents. All compassion like Buddha. If I'm little powerful, I want to be all powerful. So we are exaggerating the human aspects and wrongly say, God, you are all that. He says, okay, make me what you like. This is a strange thing for you to really learn. Hinduism says philosophically, man creates God in his image. Exaggerated man. That's why when you see gods and gods with 4 arms, 4 heads, or 6 arms, this is what we are doing. Exaggerating, superhuman, projecting, and then building relationship with him. Look, it's a ploy, but it's a good ploy. It has worked well. That's why so many human beings become so well behaved and articulate and clever, because they are in a way, the good thing they possess, they want to exaggerate it, improve it. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm now showing the anthropocentric aspect of religion, all religions. And I do it at theological qualities, happily, with the Christian ministers. I whack it in. I said, this is why we love your monotheist God. You're searching for yourself. You did mirror. That's your mirror. You're looking for yourself. This is the spirit, Atman. These are the words that the Hindus use philosophically. All the gods and goddesses come as secondary scriptures. The primary ones in the Upanishads that you've been just hearing, we talk of Atman and Brahman. And this is what it talks about. The spiritual underpinning of this reality is essentially non-material. The spirit lights all of us up as Atman. The same one appears as many. Through all these eyes, through all these forms. This is the philosophic throbbing heart. It is the most exciting thing for a Western youth to hear. My experience. They all fall in love like that. When you tell them this is the heart of religion, you are searching for your essential nature, which is very dramatically better than you can ever imagine. And they say, we never knew that. Let me lighten up because it's getting too heavy. You see, I'm invited to lots of schools, and I'm invited to some of these very rough inner city schools. So I invited a Kilburn school, very rough school with West Indian population, Christian West Indians. And they said, okay, we give you a sixth form, that is 16, 17, 18 year olds, for 3-4 hours for you to talk with them about Hinduism. Now this is asking for trouble. Because I'm very, like Gujarati, Darbar Shah Hindu, like that. These are West Indians, 6 foot, 6 tall. And when I went into the room, there were 200 of them. And they were wearing goggles. And they had put their feet on the table and chewing down and looking at me. Mr. Patel, go on. They all think Hindus must be Patel. So I decided to carry on. And slowly I built up this idea of divinity of human beings. The speciality about us, we are essentially the spark of the divine. We are the spirit we are searching for in the heavens, projecting in the heavens. That was our essential nature. We are that special. Now you see, they are Christians, they've been brought up and we are sinners. From day one you are horrible monsters. And here is this Mr. Patel telling them something different. So as I went on, first I was worried that I'm going to get beaten up here. As I went on, slowly the goggles went in the top pocket, the chewing gum went under the table, and the feet came down. And they started falling down. Look, my experience, West Indians are the best candidates for this particular teaching of Hinduism, or divinity of human beings. So I carried on, and they were kind of happy, and they were kind of, smiling away, and things were going well. Then it was time for me to leave. As I was leaving, a whole gang of them came walking towards me. I thought I've had it now. They came here and said, Mr. Lakhani, we thought Hinduism is weird, but what you said, is it truly Hinduism? I said, purest of Hinduism. All right then, they said, you want to become Hindus? I'm sure. Now that was very difficult for me, because I am very open-minded. I can easily take a bit of Gangaji and say, Gangaji, you're all pure, you're all Hindus. Turn them into Hindus. But the problem would be that they'll immediately, with their ganja, go to the nearest temple and say, we are Hindus. All the masses will come running out, what have you done? So I had to hold back and say, no, you are fine as Christians, carry on. Christian is a good pathway. Discover the spirit, you'll find it through Christianity. That's what Christ found. Don't worry, go for it. But you see, I'm lightening up at a serious theme. My experience of presenting this idea of divinifying human beings is catching on to such a great extent that I have the best dialogue of British Humanists Association. If you go on the Hindu Academy website, you can get a link to British Humanists website, where there's a 5,000 word interchange. Look, humanism is atheist. And I'm a person with a million gods, and they've got no god, and we still say, let's interact. You see the interaction. Initially it sparks. But as we go along, it's a 5,000 word interaction. It becomes very mellow, very interesting, and I think I win, basically. But the thing is, this is how it is possible to capture at hearts and minds of thinking youngsters. You don't have to be religious. In fact, look, the breadth of vision of this religion is this. There's another thing I must touch on. There are two things I in fact I want to touch on, because this will make it feel nicer. Look, what I've said, if you say it sounds irrational, I told you take it out. Don't even swallow it. But if it makes sense, embrace it. Or at least incorporate it within your thinking. This is the breadth of vision of the deeper aspects of Hinduism, not the external, not the liturgy, not the narrative, the colorful stories. The deeper ideas of what was behind your word, religion, dharma itself, and what it incorporates. Now you see, there are certain serious misunderstandings about Hinduism that I'm sure you must have suffered through in your schools. And the first one is this one. You see, they say, look, gold, weird, all these 4 heads and monkey face and so many of them. How can you, it's called polytheism. It's naive, it's childish. You can't have more than one ultimate reality. When you believe in God, it's ultimate reality, you can't have more than one, because that's not ultimate enough. So that's an absolute naive nonsense. Just mishmash of ideas. There's no real structural religion. Polytheism. The answer that comes from Hinduism, please learn this. This religion was never a polytheist enterprise. It has always been a very majestic, very mature, pluralistic tradition. Pluralistic. You know what pluralism says? It says you can make spiritual progress using a variety of different ways. Plural ways. There are plural ways. And am I just making it up? Rig Veda, Ekam Asatya Vipra Bahuta Vadanti, Mandala number 1, we have to learn all these things. Hymn number 146, verse number 64. Ekama Satta Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. The same ultimate can be discovered in variety of different ways, can be approached in variety. This is called pluralism. Pluralism. So the Hindus have been saying since ancient times, you can make spiritual progress using different ways depending on your own innate nature, depending on your own starting point. Suppose you come from a devout Hindu family, that's your way. Suppose you're a Christian, that's your way. That's your starting point. So different people will progress spiritually differently depending on their own starting point. Let it be. It's called pluralism. Pluralism. And this is the heart of Hindu teaching. You can make spiritual progress in a, if you like, a monotheist mode. Suppose you like Vishnu. I'm not here to, that's why I'm saying I'm not here to undermine anybody's love with the gods. Suppose you love Vishnu, say, go for it, my boy. When you get close to Vishnu, you discover that you are searching for yourself. You discover yourself in Vishnu. But go for it. So, if you like monotheism, you like a God is supreme personality, I'm not just, oh, horrible man, how dare you must become like, talk like me. No, this is your way. Show your devotion, take it to its conclusion. You hit the same jackpot that I'm talking about. You are the spirit. And people live by that can't be true, can't happen. Because you see, I just don't want to think I'm God. This is too much, it's like blasphemy. I don't feel like God, I don't smell like I stink, in fact, I can't be God. Why are you saying I'm God? This is terrible. Let me tell you a story again, just to lighten up. I use this story, you must have heard it 100 times, in primary schools. I go to lots of primary schools, and I talk to little children, 5 or 7 or 8 years, and they love this kind of storytelling. I said, one Hindu boy came to the Hinduism class and was told, my boy, like it or not, believe it or not, you are God. You are that. This is the Upanishad. Thou art that. The Mahavakya of the Vedas. But in English I said, you are that. The Hindu boy thought, this is good stuff. I should have joined the classes earlier. I thought I'm just a goody-goody saying I'm God. Things are improving for me quite a lot here. So he went into a arrogant mood, put his hand in his pocket, went home when the Hindu mommy was cooking. He opened the cupboard, picked out the most expensive piece of crockery reserved for that auntie from Manchester. He waved the piece of plate in front of his mom. He said, Mommy, watch. Mommy was cooking and watching. What is this nut doing now? And he deliberately dropped it. The plate fell on the floor and broke into 1,000 pieces. And Mommy, Hindu Mommy, normally brown in color, turned pink. Then she turned red. Then she lifted her arm and came near the boy. And the boy took his hand out of his pocket. Stop, Mommy, said the boy. Mommy, said the boy, asked the boy, do you know who I am? Mom, so this cheeky fellow comes in, breaks places, who am I? Who are you? She asked. The boy had learned his lines well in the Hinduism class. Mommy, he said, like it or not, believe it or not, I am God. Now, fortunately, Mommy had been to Hinduism class too. So she said, my boy, the second question to you is, who am I? The boy had learned his lines well. Mommy, like it or not, believe it or not, you too are God. Mommy said, we are making progress. You are baby God, I am mommy God. There's a third lesson in Hinduism class which says that whenever baby God goes around the house making plates deliberately, mommy God has to do special worship ceremony of the baby God. So the boy was getting worried, so what worship? She has to bring the baby God near, turning round and smack his bottom. And she mustn't leave a mark, otherwise social service God will come. This is such a powerful story. I use it at Canterbury Christ Church University when I teach Hinduism. I said, you know what he's telling you? What sounds like arrogance, I am God. It's not arrogance, to the contrary, it's the most ego-destroying comment you can pass. Not that you are special, everybody is special. And the terms of engagement are still the same. See, baby God messes up, mommy God whacks him one gently. Whacks him. So the engagement's same, and yet you divinify both of them. This is the height of Hindu teaching. The best English word I've used, and in fact I'm fighting Richard Dawkins on this, is called spiritual humanism. Not just materialistic humanism, spiritual humanism. Dignify you because you are the spark of divine. The spirit is percolating through this. So that idea, deep idea, it's not that you are special, everybody is special. Seeing and serving God in humanity becomes the modern face of Hinduism. This is a theory, but we are very poor practitioners. Go to India. But this is what he teaches. Seeing and serving God in human being. Where else will you find your God? This is the height of philosophy. Everywhere I go, whether it's humanist or atheist or pure scientist, they say, we like what you're saying, Jay, except we find it very, very interesting. Especially the boy getting whacked a little bit. But the thing is, it's a lovely story to show the depth of Hinduism in a very simple light. I'll touch on one final thing, I'll stop otherwise. Because I'll see, because you actually stirred me up with all these things when you started me. You see, when the rishis, ancient or modern, were pushed to the corner saying, when you talk about the spirit, what is spirit? What is it? Give us some handle on it. Because you see it's difficult to define, difficult to classify, then how can you deal with it? What is this spirit? When you push them hard, they give you three definitions. I'm just going to touch on one today. Then it's the nature of, well, I'll use the three words, but then I'll use just one to focus on. The nature of Brahman, or the nature of Atman, says the ancient Rishi. Suppose you push him hard. First, it's just a matter of experience. You can't put it in words. It's wow, like Steve Jobs being wow before he died. It's a wow thing. But suppose you say, please give us some words for it. The nearest words, they say it's of the nature of, this is Adi Shankara, one of the best philosophers. It's of the nature of Asti, Bhati, Priya. It's what that. Let me just touch on one. It is of the nature of Bhati. It is of the nature of consciousness. Consciousness. So when I said Namaste, the thing that's looking out through you, that is consciousness, not flowing. That is spirit. That is Atman. It's the nearest word we have to capture Atman. Now you may think that, oh, it sounds nice, but how does it relate to science, for example? And you find me very interesting here. I've had interaction with Susan Greenfield, one of the most famous neuroscientists of the country, at Cambridge. She's now a baroness. And this was a very interesting discussion. We had lots of brain scientists, neurosurgeons, theologians sitting around at House of Lords and talking about the nature of consciousness. You see how important Hindu contribution is. You see, there is always, in neuroscience, most hard problem, the central problem of neuro, they are really master, they know which brain kind of fires in which particular manner for you to lift your arm. They know everything inside. They can do a CAT scan about your dream. They know exactly which neurons are firing in your dream world. They know. That's so good. And yet, right at the heart of neuroscience lies a huge, it's called the big problem, the difficult problem of neuroscience. And that problem, says Susan Greenfield, I'm not me quoting anymore, I'm a physicist, she's a neuroscientist. She says the biggest problem we face, the hard problem of neuroscience, is something called Mr. Lakhani, consciousness. So it should be so straightforward. Oh no, it's mind-boggling. We do not know which slice of the brain produces it. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it arises from. What is this phenomena that we possess that gives us access to reality? Like a link to reality. What is that? Consciousness. What is it? She keeps telling the brain, tell me which experiment to do on some poor chap to discover which slice of the brain it produces consciousness. Tell me. There is no slice. It seems to be everywhere and nowhere. This is reality. This is the hard problem of neuroscience. So when you push them out, they say, don't ask us, we don't know, we'll answer it later on. We don't know what is consciousness, where it comes from, but it's something very special. And at one particular meeting, I was interacting with a lot of scientists. Of course, they don't like this, anything is spiritual, they hate it. The only spirit they believe in comes in bottles at Christmas, and the spirit, they hate it. So when I was saying this is essentially your spiritual nature, appearing as consciousness. Mr. Lakhani, look, grow up. We know that consciousness is just a brain phenomena produced by this lump here. There's nothing more, so all this spirit stuff, take it away. I said, no, it's something very special. It doesn't come out, no, it is nothing special. It is a brain epiphenomena. He said, look, if you don't believe me, I just have to take a needle with some anesthetic and pump you with it, and you'll go, oh, see how it interferes with your brain, and your consciousness goes. But if I don't like you, take a hammer and come near you and whack you on, so your consciousness goes. See, we hit your brain and it's gone. So consciousness is just a brain phenomenon. Live with it, Mr. Lakhani, and grow up. All this spirit, airy-fairy nonsense. So I just show you how powerful this word is, why it wins. This is the example I gave, and see how it agrees with your common sense. You see, we are standing here. Suppose a child walks into the room, and he discovers the dimmer switch. He starts playing with it. When it goes one way, the lights come on. When it goes the other way, the light goes off. The little child will immediately come to a conclusion that the switch is producing electricity and light. You can't blame him. He's playing with it. He knows. Yeah, it comes there. He sees a causal relationship. You can't blame him. So the child will say the switch is creating light, electricity. But we have made use of, poor chap doesn't know. Switch is just a conduit, a transmitter of electricity. It doesn't produce electricity or light. The poor little chap doesn't know. Now you see, I've given a metaphor to explain what consciousness is about. Consciousness is not produced by the brain. Brain is a mere conduit for consciousness to flow through. So if you interfere with the brain, you hit it with a hammer, you just broken the switch. You're not really shown that consciousness has been stopped. You stop the flow of consciousness. You've not touched consciousness at all. When I told that to the House of Lord group, they said, it sounds all right, but it's a metaphor. I said, of course a metaphor. But you see, straight away, Susan, I like that metaphor. Because in a way it tells you the subtle nature of consciousness. It requires a physical frame for it to percolate through, but that frame doesn't produce it. It's something categorically different from physical matter. And here sits modern neuroscience. Right at the heart of it sits this phenomena that gives dignity to consciousness, something very special that we have not answered yet. Still remains seriously unanswered, right at the heart, like big black hole. What is the nature of consciousness? It comes from these lovely scriptures. This spirit that we talk about manifests itself, makes itself appear in this world through living things with a star and become most clearly visible, transparent as human beings, looking out through the eyes of human beings. The same consciousness. Consciousness is always singular, never plural. Do you know why such a powerful thought? Why I love plugging into the humanist? It gives you the best reason for being moral. Why should you be moral? Why should you care for others? Why should you thump others? When you ask humanists, Mr Lakhani is made of just making sure your genetic pool is preserved. I said, no, there's much more to it. You don't take creating. Why don't you thump others and steal the stuff? Why don't you help others? You don't, it's just natural. Surely you must. Why should you disagree with that? I say, showing a deeper level of unity. This is what I'm suggesting. The reason why you don't hurt somebody, the same thing that is percolating through these eyes and looking out, is percolating through those eyes. Spirit is always singular, not divisible. The same spirit, shining out through here, shining out through there. I'm linked. So that is why, the reason why I don't hurt you, not because the God is keeping score. I saw you, put a cross here, when you come, I'll whack you. No, God sitting and taking notes. Not just a moral, commercial reason, the society is to operate, so I don't step on your toes, you don't step on my... Not that. I'm linked with you, I'm stuck with you. That's why hurting others is not right. This is the foundation of morality in Hinduism, which is not surpassable by any religion or any social science. That is why. Not just teaching you how to live with each other, teaching you how to live for each other. This is the trump card for spirituality. Why shouldn't I, suppose I help somebody who is down. Look at the way Hinduism deals with it. Would you call it charity because God said you must do charitable deeds? No, it's Hinduism. The reason why you do good is think carefully. If you leave somebody, what have you done? You help yourself. What a big deal. Why do you call it charity and giving? You couldn't help yourself. Every prophet, every mystic world religion was not being compassionate because he just, oh, it sounds nice thing to do. He couldn't help himself. They would do their lives for the human beings. So they saw that oneness that was lighting this up, lighting that person up. And that oneness is the spirit, the word called Atman or Brahman. This gives the best foundation for ethics and morality, far better than it requires for the theosing and keeping scores here, or far better than even purely a social glory, a commerce between human beings. I will not sit to hit you, you don't hit me. I'm stuck with you, my friend. That's why. This is the depth of new teachings. I've really explored lots of different issues, brought in a lot of new ideas, and you may throw lots of missiles at me in a minute. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you. Very nice to have been doing the work.